Hello, Dr. Holly here. Long time no see. I've been practicing some distant Reiki with some of my members at Dara Wellness and thought I would show you what it's all about. Hi, my loves. So let me put my music over here. Hopefully you can hear that. That is from my plants. That's actually music that I use during Reiki sessions. So folks can have something to focus on with their meditation. That's both here in my office and through distance Reiki. This is something that I offer for folks who either see me as patients or folks who don't. You can just come for Reiki sessions. So what is Reiki? Let's talk about that. Reiki is energy healing. It is something that began in Japan, although I think it's much older than when it was formerly known as what it is. It involves balancing the chakra centers, which are energy centers within your body. There are numerous chakras. We focus on these, let's see if I can show these to you, these 7 chakra centers that I have here on my crystal grid that I use when I'm doing distance Reiki. It shows the chakras on the person's body. So that's my focus point when I have someone who's either on Zoom with me or someone who's asked me to do Reiki for them if they're maybe at a funeral or feeling ill or just in a space where they maybe need a little bit of love. And so what I do is I start my Reiki session with my bell to open the ceremony. As with any good ceremony, you need an opening ceremony itself and a close. So I'll start that with the bell, letting that get less bellish so we can hear me. I have the music going. I light a candle. I also have some sage here, which I was blessed to get from my Reiki master, Jess Prestia, Just Be Inspired, for those who know her there in that space, which has the flowers that are representing the different chakras. So then I do a scan. I usually do a scan without the crystals in place, and I use you can either, depending on the Reiki practitioner, they either do a scan just energetically, or I don't know where I did with I have a pendulum that I use normally. I think I put this on my pendulum. Yeah, anyway, when I find it, I'll show it to you. So I have a pendulum that I use to check the energy centers. And then from there, I am drawn to what energy centers maybe need a little more love. And we'll either maybe extract energy or place energy in. This can take anywhere from a few minutes to 45 minutes. It just depends on the person. There's usually a lot of kind of checking the different centers and then making adjustments as needed. As I said, when I'm doing the distance Reiki, I do use crystals. When I see someone in person, that's really, if they're open to that, we might use some crystal healing just to kind of amplify what's happening in the different energy centers. There's different crystals that are kind of thought to have some energies associated with that. And if someone's not open to that, that's okay. I adjust the service to what the person I'm seeing is open to receive. Along those lines, I have a little pad here that kind of is the different chakras. I make notes as I'm going along and share those with the person when we're done. And then we usually have a discussion. Some people come in, they may have a particular pain point that they are kind of wanting energy taken out of or put into. Others are kind of just maybe new to Reiki or just open to receive whatever comes through. And then I kind of go through my system and make adjustments as I'm called to do. Then when things are done when the session is done. Again, given that it is a ritual, I'm closing the energy for both the person and myself. I'm blowing out the candle. This candle was lit earlier, but the session that I just completed is done. I usually will use my bell 3 times to kind of help the person who's oftentimes meditating or half asleep, because it is a pretty relaxing experience, helps them kind of come back into the present here and now. That's when we have a discussion about maybe anything that came through, any type of feelings that they experienced, anything that I experienced that I can pass on to them. And yeah, then oftentimes they are talking about when they want to come next time. So yeah, I invite you to consider this. For those who are kind of unsure about energy work, like what is that? It seems a little hocus pocusy. It really is older forms of healing. It's more of the divine feminine form of healing. It is something that as a traditional psychiatrist, I was using without knowing it. When we look at things like heart rate variability, those things are measured. That's the amount of variability between heartbeats. And the more variability there is between heartbeats, that means that your breathing is slower, your heart rate is slower. It allows for more variability. That means that your body is more in a relaxed state, a state that allows for healing. Well, when we've studied things like heart rate variability, because we can measure that, it's turned out that you can feel someone's heart rate variability or measure it several feet away from them. And they've done studies looking at mothers and babies. The mother is sitting with the baby on her lap with a blanket between them, so they're not actually touching, and they will measure the heart rate variability, and the mother's heart rate variability and child's are in sync. They become in sync. And this actually happens when you are maybe in a session with your therapist or sitting with maybe your grandmother or someone who you feel is calming to you. What's happening is their heart rate variability is affecting yours. And so when you go and talk to maybe your priest or pastor or therapist or grandma, and you know they always have a calming effect on you, that is because their heart rate variability is usually in a calming space and yours syncs with it. So there's something to this. This is something we've actually measured. We've looked at, prayer practices and how that affects people. We've looked at how it affects cells. These are all things that are being studied and gathering evidence, but have been around for thousands of years and really have provided healing for that long. I invite you to consider it as a possibility if it's something that you have not in the past. So I hope that serves you. If you have some interest in Reiki and want to try a session, or if you want to know more about my membership where Reiki is an added benefit, no additional cost, please reach out. My website is darawellnessnola.com. You can schedule a free discovery call there, or just go ahead and schedule your Reiki or schedule an evaluation if you want to become a member of my growing community. Also looking at adding a consultation service for those who are in areas of the country and world outside of where I practice. So please keep an eye out for that if you're interested. All right, I hope that serves you. Have a great day.